Parahadrin Sakalian, Salamat Pahi, Kepada Samu, Kami Mengalu, Alukan Ki webinar Antrabangsha, Morality, Civics and Nature and the Age of COVID-19, International Perspective, Young Dinajurhan, Oli Jabatan, Pentabdrin, Pernegan GJASC, Saya Mengalu, Alukan, Dr. S. Malarkodi, Shubha Panunto, GJASC, Untuk Menjamut, Para, Pembikara, Padapaki, Enk Mulina, Ini. A very pleasant good morning to all the participants who have gathered here for the international webinar on morality, civics and ethics towards human and nature in the age of COVID-19 and international perspectives, which has been organized by the Department of Business Administration of Geeta Jeevan Arts and Science College, Tuticorin, Tamil Nadu State and India. Today we have amidst us 4 of the professors from the University, Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Perak, Malaysia. So before getting into the program, may I now request our beloved principal, ma'am, Dr. S. Malarkodi, ma'am, to welcome the gathering. Over to Dr. S. Malarkodi, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Professor Dilipan, sir. I'm very happy to hear the voice from Malayan languages. And I'm very happy to utilize this opportunity that you are inviting me to give the welcome address and the keynote address. Good morning to all of you. Respected learned resource persons, Dr. NOOR BANU, MAHADIR NAIDU, the head and the Department of Moral, Civil and Character Building, Moral, Civics and Character Building, Dr. VASANTHAN GURUSAMY, the senior lecturer from the Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building, and Dr. Muhammad Hari Ibrahim, the same department, and Dr. Natarajan Tambu, Associate Professor of Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building, the University of Pendidikan, Sultan, Idris and Malaysia, learned professors and learned professors from all over India and as well as from all over the other countries, and our special participants from Malaysia, other faculty members, students and other participants, a warm welcome to you all. I really feel very proud and privileged to welcome you all to this international webinar. Now just I introduce the theme of this webinar as a keynote address. The COVID-19 pandemic has generated profound challenges of both moral and political civility. The norms of politeness that underlie moral civility are less clear across the range of decisions as we contend with the current pandemic. Under normal circumstances, we generally know how to be polite in order to communicate and to respect others. When we ask for a favor, we say please. And when we receive a gift, we say thank you. Upon greeting friends or colleagues, we shake hands or hug. Yet, in the current crisis, people are ill prepared for even the most basic interactions. Passing strangers on a sidewalk, for example, has become a complex endeavor. It may force an individual to choose between a range of politeness norms as they consider the feeling of others, calculate potential risk to their personal safety, and eschew stereotypes and unfounded fears while walking among strangers. In more extreme cases of moral incivility, there have been instances of overt discrimination and displays of prejudice. For example, the driver recently refused service to a group of people out of fear of contracting COVID-19. This illustrates the social closure where politeness no longer serves as a social lubricant that facilitates interaction among people. The principles of political civility are also under threat. Political civility requires that we prioritize basic liberties when justifying political rules. We should also avoid constraints on basic liberties like freedom of movement or freedom of speech, even when imposed to protect public welfare. But this approach seems to be suitable only for ordinary circumstances. During crises or emergencies like the current one, it may sometimes be permissible, even required, to limit individual freedoms in order to advance the general good. It is necessary to rethink morality, political civility, and public reason in view of emergency situations rather than assuming ordinary circumstances. At this juncture, I appreciate the efforts taken by the Department of Business Administration of our college, and a special applaud to Professor M. Dilipan Kumar in organizing this wonderful international webinar on morality, civics, and ethics towards human and nature in the age of COVID-19 and international perspective, which is again the need of this hour. So on behalf of Geeta Jeevan Arts and Science College and the Department of Business Administration, I express my warm welcome to all the participants, and I also welcome the resource persons of today's international webinar. I welcome Dr. Noor Banu Mahadir NAIDU, Head the Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building, University of Pendidikan, Sultan Idris, Malaysia. I also welcome Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy, Senior Lecturer, Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building, University of Pendidikan, Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Dr. Mohammed Tari bin Ibrahim, Dean, the Faculty of Human Sciences, Associate Professor, Department of Geography and Environment, University of Pendidikan, Sultan Idris, and Dr. Nadarajan Thambu, Associate Professor, Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building, to this international webinar. I express my warm welcome, sir. So on behalf of our college, Geeta Jeevan Arts and Science College, and the Department of Administration, and our management, and the Secretary, Mr. Jeevan Jacob, sir, and on my own behalf, and the faculty members and the students of our college, a heartfelt welcome to you, all of you, sir. I also welcome all the participants who have joined with us all over the country, and especially from Malaysia. A large number of participants are joining with us. I express my warm welcome to all those persons, all those Malayans, and I also express my warm welcome to all the professors, faculty members, students, and all the participants to this webinar. Thank you. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, our beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. S. Malalkodi Ma'am, for the nice keynote address, as well as for your welcome note. Before getting into the program, it's my profound duty to give a couple of instructions for the participants. So today we are going to have 4 sessions. So from 10 to 11, there will be 2 sessions. So 10 to 10:30, there will be one session. So 10:30 to 11, there will be another session. So session 1 and session 2 will be in the forenoon. And by afternoon 2 to 3, we have another session, that is session 3 and 4 will be happened over there on in the afternoon time. That is from 2 to 2:30 we'll be having session 3, and 2:30 to 3 will be having section 4. So totally we are going to have 4 sessions today. So we are going to have 4 feedback. Okay, so for each session we are going to have a different feedback link, not the same one. So we request the participants to leave 4 feedback links. Okay, so only then it facilitates for us to consider your attendance. Okay, we can consolidate your attendance, and we are in a position to work on your e-certificates also. So before getting into the program itself, it's my profound duty to mention these instructions, and I have shared with you almost. So not taking much of the time, it is my profound duty to invite Mr. M. Sendil Ganesh, the Assistant Professor of the Department of Business Administration, to introduce the resource person for this session 1, Dr. Noor Banu Binti Mahadir NAIDU. Over to Mr. Sendil Ganesh.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am much overwhelmed to introduce our resource person for this webinar. Dr. Noor Banu Binti Mahadir NAIDU holds 15 years of experience in teaching. She did her undergraduation in Islamic Studies from National University of Malaysia. Then she did her PG in Moral Education from Putra University of Malaysia, and he holds doctorate in education. Currently, she acting as the head of the Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building Studies. Being the head of the researchers for many civic and moral studies in the country, presents numerous papers on moral, civics and citizenship and learning at national and international conferences. She also written many scholarly articles in local and foreign journals. Dr. Noor Banu also serves as an advisory panel for the development of the moral education curriculum and textbooks organized by Curriculum Development Division's Ministry of Education, Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sendil Ganesh, for your introduction of the resource person. It is At the juncture, we would like to welcome Dr. NOOR BINTI MAHADIR NAIDU ma'am, the head of the Department of Moral Civics and Character Building, to take over the session. Over to Dr. NOOR. Please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, and a very good welcome from Dr. Dilipan Kumar in Bahasa Malaysia. So congratulations to you, Dr. Dilipan. So I would like to say a big heart thank you to Gita Jivan Arts and Science College for inviting us to this international webinar. So thank you very much from our Department of Civics, Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building Studies, Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Perak, Malaysia. So thank you again. So a very good morning to all of you in India, because we already in the afternoon in Malaysia. So a very good morning, especially to Dr. S. Malakordi, the principal of Gita Jivan Arts and Science College. A very good morning to Dr. Dilipan as a moderator today, and all the members, my colleague, Dr. Nadarajan and Dr. Vasanthan, and all the virtual participant online today. So what I would like to, my topic will be on the citizenship and good citizen in the era of the pandemic, or in the times of the pandemic. So I would like to start with a very good quote for me. To be a good citizen. So I will talk about the citizenship and how to be a good citizen in this era, in this pandemic era, because this is like a global war. The global is like facing the same issues. So I start off with this quote: to be a good citizen, it is important to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes and see the big picture. If everything you see is rooted in your own identity, then that becomes difficult and or impossible. So what we face in Malaysia and in the world is like everybody is like playing their role to think big and try to see other people's shoes in order for us to make a better nation, right? So I would start with the Malaysian case, because we know that although the story is quite the same in the world, but the Malaysian case is for us is a bit special because.
Sorry for the interruption, Dr. NOOR, because you are out of the camera.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So
yeah, yes.
Okay, in Malaysian case, I start with the Malaysian case because although the world is having the same story. But what happened in Malaysia, maybe everybody want to know how Malaysian country achieved to decrease the cases, and how the good citizen and the rights and responsibilities of the state, the government towards the citizen is playing a role in the COVID-19 pandemic. In Malaysia, a country of 31 million people, to date, until 24th of June 2020, over 8,590 have been infected with COVID-19, with 1-to-1 fatalities. But at the early stage, this is not the case. The country had the highest confirmed case in the region. So it's like a shock. With the triple-digit cases recorded every single day. So because we never expect, this is a very truly dangerous disease. We never expect that, because as I said earlier, it's like a war. So nobody knows what is really happening. Nevertheless, what the government do and what the citizen give decrease the case day by day. Malaysia's strategies in attempting to break the change appears to be successful so far. So I think that I related it to be like when we talk about citizenship, it's about rights and responsibilities. So what is the rights that been given by the authority to the country, by the state to the citizens, and what the citizen has done to the country, to the nation. Okay, so this is lesson learned. So every country have their own story. So this is the lesson learned from Malaysia. Malaysian citizens did not initially realize how deadly is the virus. On January 25th, 2020, Malaysia saw no intention of banning any travelers from China, although we know that the China have do the lockdown. However, with the number of positive COVID-19 cases in Malaysia increasing in less than a week from 99 to 200, from 2 digit to 200 digit, with the 2 deaths reported. So suddenly everything changed how the country took over these issues. The government took many steps to elevate the mass panics. So this is like the first ever issues that we are struggling with, right? So this is, I think that most of the country in the world facing the same problem. We are facing, the country is facing with the panic buying because of the fake news, because we're not realizing. So everybody is like trying to save their own family, stock all the pile of grocery or foods in their kitchen cabinet without realizing about others. I would say that this is not. I would say that this is not the fault of the citizen, because everybody is trying to struggle to make sure that their family came as a safest. So because of this fake news, spreading the rumors about the disease, means that misunderstanding about how the disease been infected, what is the symptom and so on. So this is like, we learn from this. Okay, we start to blaming each other. We still gathering. The school is not still closing at the early stage. But this lesson learned then come with the rights and responsibilities. Whose rights? Whose responsibilities in combating this pandemic? We are talking about everybody in Malaysia, the state, the government, the nation, the citizen, the activists, the NGOs. Everybody is playing their part in their rights and responsibilities. The country faces challenges as well as other countries in the world. We start panicking, but with all the rights and responsibilities given by the country, by the state, and what we do as a citizen, decreasing the case day by day. But when the state and the nation focusing on their rights, the country becoming a better nation and with a good-hearted citizen. Right? So this is about rights being given and showing the responsibilities. Okay, despite being forced to remain in isolation, the pandemic has brought the Malaysian close together. I think not the Malaysian, the world closer together, from the government, the frontliners, the activists, and the citizen as well. What the government gives as a rights to the citizen and what the citizen do as showing their parts to the nation. Right? So I'm using this framework to be a good citizen and a good citizen online, because we are facing this COVID during the digital era. So I'm looking at the responsible citizen, participatory citizen, and the justice-oriented citizen, as well as the digital citizenship citizens online. How we have to make sure that all the news that we get is a correct news before we spread the news to others. Right. So this is the current that I said earlier. Up to 24th of June 2020, we have only new cases, which is 1-digit cases, which is 6 cases. So this is because everybody is playing their part as a citizen, as a nation, that giving the rights to the citizen, and the citizen is obeying and comply with all the regulation to make this happen. Okay, so this is what the government do as a responsibilities to the nation or to the citizen. We have 7 phases of how the nation control or reinforce this phase to make sure that the citizen is free or in the process of free from the COVID-19. The first phase until 4th phase is a very restricted phase. Every officer is on the road to control what we call that. This is the movement control order that control fully by the army, by the police, and from the order of the government. So this is where everybody start to not feel struggling and not feel free, because they say that this is my rights to go to the grocery. So why I was not allowed to do so. So the first phase is like the authority give the regulation. You should not go out. Only one member of the family should go out. That only the grocery stores is open for the food during this phase. And then we now is more towards the recovery movement control order. So at this phase, everybody is quite relaxed, but you have to be a good citizen on your own, right? So no more control from the police, from the authority, from the army, but you have to be a good citizen on your own, right? So this is the phase reinforced by the authority in Malaysia. Then this is what happened. So during the first one, those who are not compliant, the citizens who are not comply with the act and regulations during the MCO or the movement control order will be arrested or charged in court. So this is the best part, what the ministry, the government do to the citizens. The Ministry of Health is playing a crucial role in ensuring that the spread, the readiness to contain the spread of the virus. So among other earliest effort is close all the borders, make sure everybody is get the health screening at all point of the entry. So those who are returning from abroad will be screened, identified, and isolated in a special quarantine areas, right? So Ministry of Health also increased the number of hospitals that could treat COVID-19. This is what I say that this is the responsibilities of the nation, of the country, the authority that they done to the nation, right? So another measure is taken by the Ministry of Health is to give the funding to those who are not, who are affected financially due to the quarantine procedure. So it's like ringgit Malaysia 1 million was funded to the Ministry of Health by the government, right? So through this fund, RM ringgit Malaysia 100 was given daily to those who are in need, who are affected to the process of the quarantine, right? And then this is, we know that the economic turndown in the world, everything is like closing because some of the workers is not allowed to work anymore. So what the government do, the responsibilities of the government, give the caring package. We call the Perhatian Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package, or the Perhatian or the caring package towards all the nation, towards all the citizens, which is RM 1 billion fund allocation to the Ministry of Health for purchasing the equipment for combating this virus, and then 600 allowance for the healthcare personnel such as police, immigrations, frontliners, doctors, nurses, and custom personnel. And the massive and outgoing breakage. This is what I said earlier, because we are having a Malaysia economic turndown. The government is like giving for the citizens RM 10 billion allocation to the middle and lower social class economic families. So they get 1,600 one pay of payments, and this is all the payment that been given to the citizen during the pandemic as one of their rights. It's not the permanent rights, but it's a one-off rights. Okay, right? And then for the citizen also, because everybody is staying at home, the electricity bill is like increasing. So 15 to 50% electricity bill discount from 1st of April 2020 for 6 months. And free internet for all telcos, because everybody is work from home. The students also have to study from home. The students also have their class online from home. So free internet that been given by the government to the citizen. The government's also subsidized program for workers who earn ringgit Malaysia 4,000 or less. So this is like rights to the citizen that been given by the government, but it's not a permanent rights. It's a one-off rights that been done by the nation towards the citizen in Malaysia. So as this been done to the citizen, what the citizen in Malaysia do. So far, I think that we are very tremendous citizens. So as I said earlier, this COVID-19 bring us close together. The media especially actively spread the hashtag, stay at home, stay healthy, and make sure you are not really towards the COVID, to be infected by the COVID. We start with all the posters been given by the media from the Ministry of Health, the NGOs as well, helping the government, the frontliners to sue their own PPE and give to the hospitals. And this is everything is like, I would say that during this pandemic, although we find that this is a struggle, this is war, but everybody is playing their role to be a good citizens online or physically during this pandemic. I think around the world, people are doing the same thing. This is what the latest from our Prime Minister, because we are now more on the recovery movement control order. So this is during the implementation of this control order, more restriction will be relaxed to allow the public to carry out their daily activities while complying to the standards of operating procedures. So I would say that the phase 1 until phase 4 is more reinforcement by the government, but now the government leave the citizen to be a good citizen on your own, to behave on your own, and complying to the standard operating procedure. So this is among others from the Ministry of Health, to make sure everybody is doing this. Practice the 3 W's: wash, wear, and warn. Mean wash your hand daily, wear your mask when you have symptoms, and avoid any physical contact and handshake and others. This is a new norm that everybody have to practice to be a good citizen, right? So, and then when we start to recovery movement control order, we start to work. Some of the shops and institutions have opened have opened, and this is what we practice, how to do this, to do the social distancing. So everybody is playing their role to make sure that we are combating with this with this pandemic. So this is what NGO also held a fundraising to help providing the food, shelter for the homeless, and give the money to those in need to have something on their table to eat, right? So this is against the conditional movement order, how the government teaching or educate the citizen to be a good citizen on their own, to make sure that they follow all the SOP, right? So, and when we talk about good digital citizens, so all the fake news, we don't want any fake news in our country. So every citizens are encouraged to look at the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission posters or awareness to make sure do not spread any fake news. So you have to understand the source, to make sure you have the access of the source and investigate the source before spread the news to the others, to avoid the panicking again. So at the end of the session, I would say that we, as a global citizen, we are battling with this pandemic. So we want to creating a better nation. So together, as a global citizen, we can break the change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Noor, for your. I thank Dr. Noor for the wonderful and enlightened session what we have today for the half an hour of time. Even though it is an half an hour, we have come across with various aspects of how COVID-19 has played a vital role and the impact of COVID-19 in the in our own life. So thank you, Dr. Noor. So we'll be moving to the session 2. And before that, I request the participants at the end of the two session, we'll be having a Q&A session, a question and session. So if you need to ask, put forth a question with the madam, you can even type madam and you can come up with your question. And if you want to ask for the Dr. Vasanthan, as he is a male faculty, you can leave sir and you can put forth your question so that it is very easy for us to identify. And we are in a position to take forward this question to the resource person to answer for the queries whichever you have raised. Thank you, Dr. Noor. And it's my profound duty to welcome a beloved resource person for the second session, Dr. Vasanthan sir. Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy, who is working as a senior lecturer in the Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building of the Faculty of Human Sciences. I request Mrs. G. Dhanalakshmi, Assistant Professor of the Department of Business Administration, to introduce Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy to the August gathering. Over to Mrs. Dhanalakshmi.
Good morning to all. Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy, academic qualifications, the Bachelor of Arts, BA Hons in Malay Literature and Education from University of Science, Malaysia, Master of Arts, MA in Educational Department from Universiti Technology of Malaysia, Doctor of Philosophy in Moral Education from Sultan Idris Education University, Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, present positions of Senior Lecturer and Department of Moral, Civics and Character Building Studies of Faculty of Human Science, University of Pendidikan Sultan Idris Education University, Perak, Malaysia, and field specialization and research interest in moral education, moral psychology, and moral pedagogy. It's experience, the 10 years experience of teacher and lecturer in present numerous paper on moral education and moral psychology and moral pedagogy at national and international conferences. Has written many scholarly articles in local and foreign journals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dhanalakshmi ma'am, for the nice introduction of the resource person of the second session. And I request Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy sir to take over your session. Please, doctor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jivan Jacob as a secretary. So first of all, I want to thank you to the organizer for giving this opportunity to deliver my idea about the teacher ethics. And I would like to say thank you for Dr. S. Malarkodi, principals of Gita Jivan Arts and Science College, and also Diliban Kumar, okay, IAC coordinator and assistant professor, business administration and program coordinator. Okay, so first of all, I just want to, today my topic is mainly about teacher ethics and how the teachers solve their moral dilemma during this pandemic using a model we call as a James Rest model. Okay, as you all know, the COVID-19 pandemic is first and foremost a health crisis. Many countries have decided to close schools, colleges, and universities. This crisis caused the dilemma of policymakers facing between closing school by reducing contact and saving lives, and keeping them open, allowing workers to work and maintaining the economy. The severe short-term disruption is felt by many families around the world. Homeschooling is not only a massive shock to parents as well as productivity, but also the children's social lives and learning. Totally everything is changing now, and teaching is moving online and on untested and unprecedented scale. Teachers are not prepared for the online classes and all. And many assessments have simply been cancelled. And importantly, this interruption will not just be a short term, issue, but also can go to the long-term consequences for the affected cohorts and area likely to increase inequality. Okay, Mr. Diliban, are you sharing my slides? Okay, right. Okay, so first of all, I just want to focus on the ethics. Anyone can see my slide, or I need to share my, Mr. Diliban?
Dr. Vasanthan, you can find a green color signal was there, share screen.
Oh, okay, right. So I need to share my slide.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yes, Doctor. Now it is visible.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mr. Liban. Okay, so first of all, I just want to go through first about what is the mainly the definitions of ethics. Okay, first of all, we know that ethics is moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. So that is the meaning of ethics. Then we can see in the global emergency of the COVID-19 pandemic, confronts us all with unpredictable, disruptive situations which have changed our daily lives, economics, political decisions, and education. Important changes have been made in terms of online teaching, admission, and exam schedules, which have instantly stirred discussion about what post-coronavirus school landscape might look like. Amid all the uncertainty and shock, schools are obliged to stick to their basic values and ethical responsibilities, which give academics a sense of directions and credibility. So that is the mainly about ethics. Then the ethics for the teachers is it's essential that educators recognize their unique and influential role in society by honoring the standard established for their professions. So in emergency orders like this, which have been used in many countries for the first time since the Second World War, have been necessary and give much greater powers for the governments in this global war against the common enemy, this kind of virus. Borders are closed. People must stay at home, cannot go out, cannot go for shopping. They in self-isolation, and many companies and some universities may collapse in financial help from governments not provided soon. Values such as solidarity are impressively practiced. The emergency does not mean that ethics are overridden and disabled. On the contrary, they are needed more than ever. So for the ethics for the teacher, we need to know more about what is the real procedures. We need to know, stick with the values. We need to stick with the moral principles and everything. Okay. Okay. So these are the things. Next, about the professional ethics. The professional is not only for the teachers. The professional ethics must have the professional ethics for all kind of jobs, like doctors, police, lawyers. So the main thing is that the professional ethics about the moral commitments of profession involve moral reflection that extend and enhance the personal morality practitioners bring to their work. Constant action of right and wrong in the workplace can help individuals resolve moral dilemmas they encounter in their work. Then today morning, I listened one news from India. It's about Santakulam, okay, police brutally attacked. Santakulam in Thoothukudi, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, police brutally torture father and son. So that's mainly about ethics, I think. So if, let's say, you have a moral values in you, let's say you have a moral principles, you know the procedures, standard of operation, everything. So I think this kind of issue won't be happen in the police station or place. I mean, the Santakulam. Okay, so 5 professional ethics for teachers. So the first one is, I just go through being with the students, safety for all students, commitment towards the profession, cooperating with colleagues, and interaction with parents and community. Yes, of course, now we must be with the students by online in this during this pandemic COVID. So how are we going to interact with the students? Okay, so how many times sometimes the lacking of technology, sometimes the students don't have the gadgets to communicate with the teachers. So what are the things that we can do for them? Okay, the second one is safety for all students. Yes, nowadays we can see the teachers not only for the preparing, giving online classes for the students, but for the safety, they must know whether they have the proper food or proper medicines for them. How about their family situation and everything? Then we have a commitment towards the professions also. We must have the commitment to our professions. So we must have some, we must learn and we must reflect ourselves about our self-professions. Okay. And number 4 is cooperating with colleagues. We have a good relationship with our colleagues and interaction with parents and community. Okay, I just want to highlight the key point of the ethical conduct for the educators. So first of all, here we can see should treat all students with respect and courtesy, and prepare for daily lessons, and must meet the individual emotional, social, and intellectual needs for each student. Utilize a variety of research-based strategies and techniques to meet the many learning styles presented in classroom, and should strive to help all students reach their full potential. So these are the things for the ethical conduct towards students. And then the second one is ethical conduct to the profession. It's about should engage in continued professional development through reading, coursework, conference books, clubs, and other professional development opportunities. Should be reflective practitioner in regards to teaching, research-based strategy, and philosophical alignment. So it's like if we are in the classrooms, after we finish our lessons, make sure we need to reflect ourselves whether the objective is, we maintain the objective, no, then we write the reflective, then we must find out what are the problems in our lesson plans and all. Should speak up on issue related to education and best practice. We can share about our best practices. Maybe we can share in our social media, something like Telegram, Insta, or in our Facebook. So that is the ethical conduct for the profession, for the educators. The next one is ethical conduct to parents and community. So should treat all parents with respect and courtesy, should keep parents informed all aspects of their child educations, should strive to the positive contributing members of one's community, and should demonstrate respect for the religious, social, and cultural values and diversity found within the community. So these are the things that for ethical conduct for the parents. And then the last one is ethical conduct to our colleagues is about should communicate with teaching colleagues to share best practice, support colleagues in dimension as they deal with the daily demands and teaching, should not speak negatively about other colleagues in front of students, parents, and other colleagues. And last one is respect the philosophical difference inherent in a healthy teaching community. Okay, so now we think about how we interact. I'm very sure there's teachers in now with us. So you all can think about interaction with students, or if let's say other job scopes, so lecturers, or maybe a policeman, your client. So how about the interaction with your clients? Whether is it you're following the code of ethics or not? And how about the knowledge of school policies and procedures, whether you have the good information, you know well about the policies and procedures. And reputation in the community. If a teacher, you have the reputation. As a policeman, you have a reputation. And as a doctor, you have your own reputation. Okay, so now we can see in this during COVID, we can see doctors, the community put the doctors in one par. It's very high level. They say that they are the lifesavers and all, they are like a god. So that are the things that the community already gives a reputation for us. So what we have to behave in the professional ethics. Okay. So what are the challenges in this during pandemic COVID-19? Okay, so the first of all, the challenges is online teaching is a smart solution and is much needed. Many schools have developed creative solutions at short notice, but complaints about educational inequality, especially in developing countries, are increasing. Full equality may not be possible as technology conditions vary too much, but all possible efforts to promote equal treatment should be made. Yeah, in our country, in Malaysia, we have these kinds of problems. We have always there are complaints about educational inequality. So the government is trying their level best to solve this inequality problem. So the second challenges is teachers' concern for vulnerable students is one of the most stressful aspects of their jobs right now. It's very clear that teachers have caring role in their lives of students, outside students, academic work, and the teachers' concern for their students in top of their mind right now. When we ask teachers to name the 3 most stressful aspects of their job's current situation, and also when we interview teachers, the first concern expressed by many teachers was how they are using daily contact with students, have adequate food, support, and safety. Not being able to observe every child and youth each day intensifies teachers' worries, as they are confident that they are all, their students are okay. Of particular concern to teachers are children who have not been heard from, the host whose family have not gone so far as to go to the students' homes to check to them. One teacher said, now there is just more worry about how kids are coping and how their families are coping. I'm not even really worried about what we are teaching. That's the last of my worries. So teachers are more worried about the concern of their safety, concern about their family conditions and all. So another thing is practice the new norm standard operation procedures. This also be challenges for the teachers, okay, because these very new norms, in Malaysia, we already open up the schools gradually. So now we already open up for the STPM, Form 6 and Form 5 students. They are going to school now. So teachers practice the new norms now. You just opened just 1 week ago. So this also can be a challenge for the teachers. Another one is SPM, STPM. This is a Malaysian public exam. Teachers need to cover their syllabus, and we have another few months more to go. So this can be a burden for the teacher to cover the syllabus to make sure that students are be ready. So the protection and safety for children will be harder to safeguard. So these are the challenges. If let's say I want to list down, there's many challenges. Now you can see few paper clippings that highlight some of the problems that have plagued in our country, Malaysia. Okay, you can see the students stay overnight in tree to get better internet connections, and the NGOs, other side, the trained teachers for the new norms. Okay, and we have Malaysian teachers forced to adapt the conducting online classes. The new normal for Malaysian school teacher, parents, students must able abide by COVID-19, make online teaching the way forward by our prime ministers. Parent teachers agree to limit them. So there is a lot of challenges. There's a lot of issues is coming out past this 1 or 2 weeks. So how are we going to overcome these challenges? Okay. So these challenges can be a moral dilemmas for the teacher. So when teachers perform their duties at school during this pandemic season, it is likely that teachers are confronted with the moral conflict. Teachers need to be prepared to resolve the conflicts they faced by adhering to school ethics. Teachers need to reflect on SOP procedures in school. Various challenges will arise and teachers need to make moral decisions in resolving conflicts. So teachers can be served as models, ethical person who demonstrate a high level of respect and responsibility both inside and outside the classroom. Teachers can also model moral concern and moral reasoning by their reaction to morally significant events in the life of the school and in the world of large. So the problems can be the moral dilemmas. So how teachers can solve the moral dilemmas? Okay, now I just want to introduce, actually to solve these moral dilemmas, James Rest has developed a 4-component model sequentially showing that an individual is likely to behave morally if he or she is facing moral conflict. So there is a 4-component here. The first one is moral sensitivity. The second one is moral judgment. The third one is moral motivation. And the last one is moral action. So I explain one by one. If let's say we follow these 4 components sequentially, this is the might be we can solve the moral conflict that we have. So the first one is moral sensitivity. The first condition is the moral sensitivity of the ability to see things from the perspective of others rather than focusing on one's own views. A person with greater ethical sensitivity can interpret a situation from other points of view and show sensitivity to the feelings and reactions to others. So ethical sensitivities are the result of a host of individual characteristics such as age, education, moral development, level, works experience. Now we have a new norms. So that are the things that can make a moral sensitivity. You can aware that what is going to happen in front of us. Okay. The second one is moral judgment. One, you know that's the problem, that's the conflict, that's the moral dilemmas. So you must do moral judgment. Moral judgment requires knowledge of concept, codes of conduct, and ethical principle, and helps to identify the guidelines that support the decisions. Once you already made the decisions, the third is about the moral motivations. So the moral motivation is about the difference between knowing the right thing to do and making a priority. Moral motivation has to do with the importance given to competent choices. Deficiencies in moral motivation occur when personal values compete with the concerns for doing what is right. Then the final one will be the moral action. It's about requires teachers to persist and have courage to implementing their skills. So these are the 4-component model by James Rest. Okay. So I continue. So we see the decline from ethical belief to ethical action. Okay, teachers have a high level of awareness in understanding moral issue. For example, in this pandemic, teachers are also very knowledgeable in understanding all the procedures and ethics of the teaching profession and how to handle standard operation procedure. A study done by one of the daily newspaper in Canada shows that many people understand ethics. The moral decision to be taken also adhere to the ethics of the profession and to lesser extent the ethical consciousness. What is worrying is ethical action is the least. This phenomenon shows that many people out there understand ethics and can make decisions by adhering to ethics, but in terms of moral action, they do not. So we can see that ethical belief is very high, ethical intent is moderate, then ethical action is very low. So examples, what I can see around me, okay? So wearing a mask is a procedure that every day we can see in our media. Always they will ask the people to wear the mask. Awareness is there. Okay, the decision to wear a mask, yes, they will buy and keep inside the car, but the act of wearing a mask is not performed. So these are the things that are happening right now. Okay, so I just want to conclude today's session. So moral dilemmas in new norms, teacher ethics. Today I provided input on how we should deal with moral conflicts and what are the key elements in resolving a moral conflicts in the new age of norms. Teachers need to have a deep understanding of new norms. Understanding this new norm can give teachers a sense of the issue they face in their lives. Moral decision must be made in accordance with the new norms. Moral motivation must be present in implementing moral action by giving priority to new norms. And finally, moral action will take place and resolve the moral conflict. So I give one example as a teacher in the moral dilemmas also. Okay, teacher intends to conduct an assessment in the class and come across a student with health discomfort or fever. Now, teacher faces a dilemma whereby he or she needs to take an action. Before that, the teacher goes through the moral sensitivity of either to allow students to take the assessment as planned, since the student is present to the school, or immediately follow the SOP to send the students out the classroom for medical treatment. Here is where the teacher make a judgment. The teacher is motivated to follow the SOP. Finally, the teacher decides into informing the authorities for further actions. So these are the examples teacher might be faced in these new norms. So for that, thank you very much. Okay, I end my session right now. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy, for the nice session. So really you have opened a lot, actually, putting it very clear. Terima kasih kepada kedua Guru Besar untuk sesi yang indah. So both of you have really enlightened the session, both the session, I hope so. And you have touched more points on ethics. And adding to you, I don't know about the scenario which was being played over there in the rest of the countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and in the Gulf countries or UK and US. I'm not sure about it. But we are talking about India, especially because the college has been closed. Both the colleges and schools have been closed. Today morning, I have went across a video and I learned a lot. It was actually an eye-opener for me today in this morning. When I was chatting with Dr. Nadarajan, at that moment I have seen that video, and it opens an eye, because we are talking about ethics, and I'm sure that most of our Indian professors, I'm not discriminating, but I'm telling, because for the most of the professors, even there are few participants with us, few participants are there as a professors with us. If you ask them, most of the institution, their salary was been cut. They are not given salary because of this closure. And for few of the colleges, they are giving it by a ratio. If it is a professor cadre, they are giving this much of ratio. If it is an associate professor, this much of ratio. Like that, they are giving it on a ratio. And in few of the institutions, they are paying it by percentage. There are some institutions where only 35% of the salary being paid, and the rest of their salary was not paid. And there are in few colleges, only 70% of their salary have been paid. So even though with lot many difficulties, hindrances, the ethics of the professor was not moved out. Still they are in the webinar. Still they have joined with us in the webinar. Still they are handling online classes for their own students. Though their salary was given or not, they have cut down or they have downsized their salary, whatever it may be. So that shows the ethics of the professors especially. So at this junction, I want to appreciate all the professors, especially in the down south of India, especially down south of Tamil Nadu. Okay, there are lot many institutions, or we can't able to blame the authorities of the institution, the management also, because only if a student pay a fee, they are in a turn to pay for the professors. When they themselves pay a fee, and at this moment we can't ask the students to pay their fees also. Even they too will undergo some trouble. But considering all the problems, all the impact of this COVID-19, okay, the professors are doing a great job. So even like you told, we are getting into a new arena of learning and development process. We are not into the same mode of chalk and talk method. A new arena of learning and development process is fetching to another level, and all the professors have started in that, and they have started tuning themselves into that particular L&D process to overcome all these challenges. So because when I was going with all this ethics, your slide, everything, this is what I was getting in mind. Okay, so still I can say that still we have an ethics, but I'm happy for our management because they have not cut down our salary, but we are happy for it. But when I'm talking about the rest of because some of our colleagues, when they are the near ones, the friends from another institution, when they're talking to us, it becomes very pathetic again. But even at that moment also, they didn't find it difficult. They are going on. So that is what the ethics, because again, even at this difficult time also, most of the professors are being as a ladder for the students. They have not stopped their, or they have not closed the ladder and put it in their house. So I want to thank all the professors especially. And when I was looking into your room, never walk alone. I'm seeing that particular thing. Right from the starting of this program, I was seeing it. Now you can't tell never walk alone. The situation is very pathetic.
Yeah, better to walk alone.
So, okay. So I request the participants, you can put forth your question. I'm opening thank you, Dr. Noor and Dr. Vasantham for the nice session. You have enlightened with the knowledge, because me and my principal, just 2 minutes only, I have called the principal. See, he's talking about ethics. It was really highly interesting for us. We both were talking. Immediately you told, thank you, ma'am, please cut the call, because he's concluding, I told. Okay, so that much we are getting it. Really, you have done a very great job, both of you. So I am, the chat box is kept open for the participants to put forth your questions. I request all the participants who have joined with us to ask some questions, so that we can take it to both the presenters, both the session chair, so they are in a position to answer for you. Or if you want to have any comparison between Malaysia and India, we can also go with that part. Meanwhile, I'm also posting the feedback and attendance link for both the sessions, session 1 and session 2. So see to that you are giving 2 feedback and attendance link today. I'm posting 2 attendance and feedback link. One is for session 1 and another one for session 2. So participants, kindly make sure that you have given for the 2 sessions. Your feedback has been given for all these 2 sessions. Okay. So I wanted to put forth a question to Dr. Vasanthan sir.
Yeah, I can.
We were talking about ethics again. So during this time, will the ethics work?
As what I mentioned just now, the ethics is about our beliefs and our principles. If let's say we have a moral consideration and we have a beliefs and we must follow the SOP and everything, I think it will work. It depends on sometimes there are the people might be very selfish. So in that kind of situations, I'm not very sure. Like, it depends on the person,
mindset, the attitude of the people,
persons and their mindsets.
Because even now after the vacation, after the semester gets over, the college will close for 1 month for the vacation, for the start of the next semester. So after this 1 month of this time duration, the students, when they are getting into the campus for the second semester or for the next semester, it is very difficult for us to set forth the students to the academic setup again. To make them to get into the system, it is very difficult. But think of us, we are having a lot many months have been, India is still in lockdown. The colleges have been closed. It was not open like what you people are sitting in the college. I'm very happy for it. But still, the college was kept closed, both the colleges and schools. But see, which is very difficult for the professors, and there are a handful of professors who are doing a very great job even during this COVID-19, in the age of COVID-19. But still there are certain professors who have detached from the students. Okay, so their relationship is not that much good. So what is your advice in particular for those people?
Okay, so let's say for the professors and the students, the professors might sometimes they have their social platform like Facebook, Insta, Twitter. I think India is very famous with the Twitter, always tweet and everything. So they can have an interaction from that kind of platform. At least just see their situations. How about their students? How about their, what are they doing? At least there is an interaction, there is a touch between them. Don't just, because I'm not very sure about the primary school in India. So how you're copying, there is, I think for sure there is no connection, because sometimes the rural area might not have internet and everything. So there is a big my issue also lah. So what they can do is they can go to that place, go to their room, their house, and ask them everything's okay or not. That kind of interaction must have as educators.
But to your point or to your knowledge, I can say primary education are doing very good nowadays.
Even in this
time period, because most of our faculty, when I was calling them, see, the program was started, why you are still not attending the program, or you are not entered into the learning platform or to the cloud meeting? They will tell that my son is attending his class. And what his son is studying? He is studying first standard.
Okay, right.
It's into grade 1, because primary education. And again, when you're talking about Tamil Nadu, they are very famous with Diksha, which was started by the MHRD, okay, for the school people. So they have built with the Diksha app, and all this e-learning, everything is already inbuilt for these inbuilt for this people, for the primary education people, so they can learn from that particular app. So there is an app itself has been designed before COVID-19 itself.
Oh, okay. So the connections is all okay, no issue at all. The internet
maybe an internet connectivity is there, but adding to you, 2 days before, when I was going through the newspaper, I found one very interesting article. Actually, it is very rural. The primary school, it is actually a primary school. The headmaster of that school, the principal or the HM of the school, he finds very difficult in connecting with the students. Actually, this primary school is within a village, and all the students from that village will enroll themselves as a student in that particular school only. They will not go for any other school. So this is what a scenario which was over there on that particular village. And because as it is a rural, and they are below poverty line, they don't have a smartphone. There are few students who have a smartphone in their home, and there are several students, high number of students without a smartphone, they are there. So what this headmaster he did is, he started coming up with speakers in all the posts. The entire village, in all the posts of the entire village, speakers was made with the speakers. He has connected with the speakers, and he alone is getting into the school, or he alone is sitting in his home, and he going on handling the classes. And the entire village is listening to the classes. So all the students are benefiting out of it. Not a single student is getting out of it. So that is what a connectivity. And I really, when I was going through with this particular article, I got a goosebumps. Oh, such a great man, because he's very senior. Nowadays, senior will not come down to the line and work.
Yeah.
It is actually like the thing. But he learned certain system, and what is the system which will work for that particular village? He analyzed it. He made it as an alternate and come up with the best alternate. And now he is educating all the individuals, all the students in that particular rural village, and it is going good. It was an article which was published in a newspaper 2 days back.
That is good.
Such a great headmaster. At this time, we as the entire teaching fraternity, we want to thank him for taking this much of effort, that professors. So it is all in the hands of, as you told, it is all in the hands of the professor. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. Everything is in the hands of the professors. Yes, the next question is to Dr. Noor. What is Prigatin Rakyat package, which is coming from? Do you have something like some savings on it?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Dilipan. So what we have is a caring package. It's a stimulus package given by the government. Means that the government provide a funding from the government itself, but it's not prolonged. It's like one-off funding for the caring of the citizens. It means that no one is left behind within this financial downturn. So everybody is like getting, it's not like, because we come with different background for the government sectors, for the public institution, they have their own fundraising of money. But this is for the citizen, like for the prihatin rakyat, means that for the citizens. Means that everybody got a small amount of money to make sure they have at least food and medical being treated well. So let's say that even for the higher institution students, like university students, they have like 200 ringgit being given to them twice, so that they can use it for their own, so to get internet data when they go home, so that they can do the online. So this is like the caring fundraising. It's not a fundraising, it's a caring financial funding from the government. But as I said earlier, this is not a permanent right. This is one-off right during this pandemic. It's not like you have to, you can claim from the government every time. No, this is one-off to make sure everything's smooth. And when everything's smooth, because now we are open, the institutions slowly, so everybody can work and so on. So the government is like giving a lot of things. Like we no need to pay for our car loan, or some of the interest is lower. So this is like funding, so that the citizen can come together, can move, can live, so can get out of this downturn. Everybody is I think that everybody is facing the same downturn in the world. So this is like a 6-month project caring funding from the government to the citizens. So no one is left. The government motto or hashtag is no one is left behind. So this is what I think that the question meant. Is it like how the funding came from? No, this is like the funding is from the government. The government itself, they plan and they provide this kind of funding to the citizen.
Thank you, Dr. Noor, because it is a great initiative which was taken with the government of Malaysia, especially. Because this 200 ringgit is, when you are comparing it to Indian rupee, it is almost nearly to 4,000 rupee. Okay. So even if our students, if they get 4,000 rupees, they will enjoy like anything. I can even tell, because they find difficulty, because again they are not working. They want to depend on their parents for getting everything. But I thank the initiative which was taken by your government, especially in giving 200 ringgits to the citizens, especially to the students, to recharge their mobile phones, to have the internet connectivity and all those things, to come out with, to sort out all those problems. Really, I appreciate the government of Malaysia in taking such a great initiatives. Probably we pray to God, the Lord Almighty will shower His blessings in India also, to give at least 100 ringgit to us.
Yeah, sure.
You have been given 1,000 rupee for 2 months. Then later on, it was not given to us. Okay. The next question to Dr. Vasant sir. Dr. Vasanthan, you have come across with 5 professional ethics for teachers, and you have mentioned in one ethics, in one point, that commitment towards profession. And maybe is it possible during this COVID-19 pandemic? Because everyone are frustrated nowadays. Mainly this session we have to open for, because one of the Madam Mary Jensi has given a point that we want to open this session for professors and teachers especially, because they should come, they should know what is the value system is all about. So Mary Jensi ma'am has requested us to do that part. So what is your point when you're talking about commitment towards profession, and that too during this pandemic time?
So I think the first question and second question is similarity is a bit same.
Yeah.
Okay, if let's say the commitments means how we want to be commitments. So if let's say we want to commit with our professions, it's in this kind of pandemic situation. Just now, Mr. Dilipan, you already give the examples about the teacher who is fix the speakers and everything for the for the villagers students. So I think back to the values, the principles, the loving, the care with the students and everything. If let's say you love your job, if let's say you know your principles, your values, I think you can give all out for your professions. So I think that is my my view about ethics.
Do all professors are committed to their work?
Pardon, sir?
Do all professors are committed to their works, to their job?
Because that is more very
More of individual.
very judgmental, I think. Okay, if let's say in my my campus, in my university, I think everyone is doing their rights, they're doing their job very good. Everyone's following their SOP and ethics, everything. But in other cases, it depends on your reflective. It's about yourself, self-reflective.
Our professors are working for a cause or for an applause?
If you ask me, I just say I'm working for my
For a cause.
yeah, it's a two-way, two-way around actually. Okay, it's I'm working for my it's my profession. Then I need to work for my profession. Then I build up myself.
My next question is are the professors are they expressing their thing, or to get an impress they are doing things?
You mean?
I asked two questions. One question
okay,
was,
right?
are the professors are working for a cause or for an applause? My first question. My second question is, are professors are for an they are expressing their views, ideas, or they are going for express, or instead they are requiring, or they are looking for an impress?
They are looking for the they are looking for the applause. Actually, first of all, okay, they are looking for applause. They need the applause to gain something for their career. Okay, it must have. Okay, they need something for them. It's a token for them, applause for them. So that we can moving forward, we can build up ourselves.
Because that is what the motto behind which I am working. That's what I put for that question to you, the two questions. Because the moment when I completed my MBA program, I was placed in 12 of the companies, but I didn't go for those 12 companies. I thought teaching is the best profession. I came to teaching. So at that moment, I started writing in my mail. So my signature in my mail is, work for a cause, not for an applause. Live to express, not to impress. So this is what a tagline I wrote on, I put as a signature in my mail. So whenever I was sending a mail, at the end note, I'll be having this particular signature over before my name. After that only I'll put regards, my name and everything. So that's what I have asked you a question. Until now, I was working on that particular motto. Next question is, one of the professor has asked, Professor Velchami. Nowadays, all professionals look for quantity, not for quality. What is your idea, sir?
Quantity and
quantity. All professors are working for quantity and not for quality.
Quantity. I mean,
quantity.
Yeah, of course. Yes, you mean money. We actually, it's not. We cannot say that it's a quantity. We can say quantity. Deliver, sir, you are showing some kind of money.
Yeah.
Actually, the quantity sometimes can be the quantity of the students, right?
No, that is there is a restriction here in Indian government. In a classroom, okay. One is to there is a ratio is there, fixing a student to a certain limit of professors.
Okay, right. So in Malaysia, because if let's say we are in a private schools or private college, we are going for the quantity. Okay, because we need money to run the college, university. But if private, the government university, we are looking for the more quality actually. But end of the day, let's say in the ranking, university ranking, everything, everyone's showing the quality. We need the quality. We publish the paper, we go for the conference, we share our idea. So for me, it's quality is first, then only the quantity.
You have rightly said, sir, but adding to you, I can even tell one or two more points, because quality which plays a vital role nowadays rather than quantity. The one who is getting into quantity will lose their value system and they'll be moved out of the institution very soon. But the one who is working behind the quality will always withstand in any of the organization, either in this or that, whatever the organization they go, they will be withstand in the organization. Number one point. Second point is, even though it is a time, it is a very pandemic time. Okay, the entire, we have a Google Classroom platform. We had Kahoot. We have many rubrics in assessing the students. We have a very e-learning platform for to enriching the knowledge and to make the students very easy to learn things. But either we have used all those particular available things before this pandemic, it is a very bigger question mark. But this pandemic, okay, it made not a 30 plus or not a 25 plus or not even 40 plus. Even I have a 60 plus aged professor who is using all this particular learning platform. So that is where a quality is all about. And that is what I told you very earlier. L&D process plays a vital role during this time of pandemic when you're talking about in a teaching community. So when learning and development process is going to another height, when fetching it, when we are adapting that particular thing, and when we are moving for hybrid teaching pedagogy system, definitely there comes quality and we are bringing value to our own table. If you are not in practice in this L&D process, the gate is always open. Either it is an university gate or an institution gate, the gate is always open for us to move out. Putting it very simply, I can tell, but don't mistake me, because I actually, I'm a straightforward guy. Okay, few of them like me, most of them, they will not dislike me, but I won't bother about all those things. I'm a straightforward guy. What I know, what I have in my heart, in my mind, I'll talk. I will not see the consequences, because that is what the reality, because we need to talk about the reality at the end of the day. Only reality, it matters a lot. So I hope we have many questions. So with this, we'll end the session. I hope so. We have both great sessions, and you're replying what you have replied. No, it was again, it is a very flawless for the questions what you have replied. We thank you both, Dr. Noor and Dr. Vasanthan, who have joined with us and made this session a very great successful one. Before concluding, there is a formal vote of thanks is there for this particular session. Dr. S. Malarkodi ma'am, Principal ma'am, do you want to add something?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am, it is audible, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Respected professors, your lecturers were really awesome. Both of you have proved that you are a good citizen, and as well as the committed teachers. Really, you shared your views very nicely. And not only in delivering your lecture, but also the way in you are answering that question also, you have proved that you are the committed teachers and the professors, and how far you are following the ethics to the society and to all the communities. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
We have one Professor Aruna Devi for the feedback. Ma'am, you can unmute yourself and you can give your feedback. Madam Aruna Devi? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am. I hope you are Dr. Giri Prakash's wife?
Yeah, yes,
okay,
sir.
Fine. How are you, Aruna, ma'am?
Fine, sir. How about you?
Fine, ma'am. So let's have
yes,
a feedback
sir.
session.
Session is very useful.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
It's very interesting. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Mrs. Aruna, ma'am,
thank you,
for
sir.
the nice feedback. Thank you very much. And I thank Principal ma'am also. And over to Mrs. Mohidin Fatima, the Assistant Professor of the Department of English of Geeta Jeevan Arts and Science College, for the vote of thanks for this morning session.
Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. I, A. Mohidin Fatima, Assistant Professor, Geeta Jeevan Arts College, Thoothukudi, deem it a great privilege, honor, and utmost duty to express my vote of thanks. Here, we have come to an end of 2 progressive sessions. To be honest, both the sessions on the topic morality, civics, and ethics towards human and nature in the age of COVID-19 was wonderful and informative. The first one was presented by Dr.NOOR BINTI MAHADIR NAIDU, Head Faculty of Human Sciences, Malaysia. She has graced us with her presence and guidance. We'll try to be always good citizen, ma'am. Terima kasih banyak ma'am for sharing your words of wisdom. The second one was presented by Dr. Vasanthan Gurusamy, Senior Lecturer, Faculty in Human Science, Malaysia. The way he presented was really fruitful and informative in the present scenario. Thank you, sir. Both the sessions is a grand success, and it is highly appreciative of the leadership, encouragement, and extensive support provided by Mr. Jeevan Jacob, our college secretary, and Dr. S. Malarkodi ma'am, our principal. I thank our college IQAC team, which has been doing incredible job, especially during these COVID-19 days. I'll be failing in my duty if I don't mention the tireless efforts made by Mr. M. Dilipan Kumar, the IQAC coordinator. His flawless technical support in organizing such useful webinars and displaying it on social medias like Facebook, YouTube, etc. is really highly appreciative. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I'm very glad and thankful to all the participants for their valuable presence, hoping the same support for all our college webinars in future. We as human beings do our best in worst situations. This has made all of us to learn digital and forgo digital. So we are precious. Stay home, be healthy, and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Muhyiddin Fatima. An instruction to all the participants. The next session, the afternoon session, it will start by around 2 p.m. So I request all the participants to be on the learning platform sharply at 2 p.m. So with this, we'll end this particular this morning session. So we thank Dr. Noor, Dr. Vasantham, and Dr. Nadarajan sir who have joined with us all the way from Malaysia. I would like to thank Dr. S. Malarkodi ma'am also. Thank you very much. And with this, we'll end the session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.